We hide, we lie, we back.
We shouldn't have a podcast.
Podcast.
But we do. But we do.
We shouldn't have a podcast. But we do. And you're listening to it. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good. I feel like I could have got a tad bit more sleep.
No, agreed. I feel that way.
Your alarm was set for 5:30?
Correct.
I woke up to that one. I had an alarm set for 5:50, so you burned my 20 minutes of extra sleep.
So you were just kind of like waiting till the mics are on. Roast me for that.
Yes, I was.
I apologize.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. Just don't let it happen again.
I had high hopes that I would jump right up at 5:30, but I did not.
Did you? I mean, it's okay. We're not mad at you.
I know this is probably like not the platform to talk about cycles, but like when I'm on my cycle, yeah, but we're here where it's happening because they need to know like why some things are going on. You know what I mean? And
for sure,
when I'm on my cycle, like I want to sleep all the time. I nap on my cycle. I don't nap. I'm not a napper, but I nap when I'm on my cycle. I want like an extra hour of sleep. I'm so tired.
You know, everyone on here is gonna go, she's pregnant.
That's complete opposite of being on your cycle.
Oh, is it?
I'm on my period.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm tripping.
I'm weak.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It could clue in to maybe what my pregnancy might look like. I don't know. Maybe I will just be a sleepy gal.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you feel like that. That's why you feel like that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, what do you mean? Well, I feel like that.
Or I'm saying you being sleepy. I said you'll feel like you'll be a sleepy gal while,
I'm saying
when you're
maybe
pregnant.
it's a clue that I will be.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a really silly question. Why did I think that?
It's okay. I've asked sillier, but yeah. So I don't know, and I've just been like staying up a little later than we usually do, so that obviously plays into it.
Yeah. It's I read today this morning.
What'd you read?
I read a couple things. I was trying to, it was like, I read one thing that I told you about, and that the other thing I did not tell you about, but I did save it. So
you don't even want to tell us how you're doing?
I'm doing,
jumping straight into business. Dang.
No, but it had to do with what we were talking about. Yeah. It was just saying, it says sleeping less than 8 hours is destroying your physical and mental health. And then it says, here's the way how to fix it. And it says insufficient sleep leads to weight gain, reduces brain function, decreases muscle recovery, causes mental health issues, increases chances of disease. So it says, luckily there's a simple fix. And then it says 10 minutes of sunlight, and then gives the explanation. 10 hours without caffeine. So it says stop drinking caffeine by, it says 11 p.m., but you should do 3 p.m. because caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours. It says 4 hours without exercise, which I thought was interesting.
Wow.
So it says it makes sense. Intense exercise too close to bedtime keeps your cortisol levels high, making it harder to fall asleep. Yeah. And then it says 3 hours without food. So cut off food 3 hours before bed to improve quality of your sleep and hormone health, because your body has to raise the temperature to digest food. It says 2 hours without work, so just like 2 hours.
Oh my gosh! Like, are they gonna put out a planner for this, like a schedule? Because this is a lot.
It is, but I feel like it's super easy as well.
It makes all the sense in the world, but like I feel like I need to start like a log chart. And
1 hour without blue light, so blue light glasses, something like that. So I got 5.5 hours last night, I think.
You only slept 5.5 hours? Oh yeah, you were up so late. No, I went to bed at like 10. Why were you up so late?
Of course it didn't. I was just working on something on my phone.
Yeah, no, last night.
It wasn't that much. It was 10:30 when I went to sleep.
Then you got way more than 5 hours.
Yeah, it was like 10:30. What, 6?
No, I always say 11 to 7. So if you go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7, that's 8 hours. 10 to 6 would be 8 hours. So if we did 10:30 to 6, it's just 7.5 hours.
Well, it feels like I got 5 hours of sleep for whatever reason.
I think for me, it's the caffeine. Like that stuck out to me the most of what you just read. Yeah, my caffeine intake has been gnarly the last couple of days. I've been having coffee as we do this, and then I've been going straight to an energy drink, and Alani knew. And I can't do that. And then sometimes I'd have another coffee.
Jeez. I didn't realize you had that much yesterday.
Because I'm still trying to catch up with friends that I haven't seen in so long, and so they'll ask me to go get coffee later in the afternoon at maybe 12:31.
Yeah.
And I've already lived like a whole day because we get up and do this, and then I try to drink more caffeine so that I can get things done. And yesterday you saw me. I was literally buzzing. I couldn't sit still.
Yeah. No, you were hopped up yesterday.
But I got a lot done.
And yeah, everything's good. Just I had my first workout yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
And, felt when I first went in there to do the assessment stuff, everything felt great. Yesterday I went in there 2 weeks off, and I mean, it's just crazy how your body works, because it literally was like, okay, Jack, what are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we at? What's going on?
Thought we were resting.
You just had Chipotle. You should be taking a nap. And got to the last exercise of the workout, and I got that nice little pukey feeling.
You are like a workout puker, though.
Yeah, but it's like, if I achieve that, I know that I've pushed myself.
For sure.
If that happens on first day, it's over, done with. I'm almost addicted to that feeling, because I'm like, I put the work in.
It is a good feeling. And once you get addicted to that feeling, it's I don't know, it's kind of a good thing, because people either get turned away. Like, I used to get turned away at HIIT workouts. When I started to feel icky and like I'm gonna vom, then I would just kind of start to give up. But now I'm more on your end, where I'm it's kind of a sick, twisted enjoyment.
Yeah, I just lean into it. I feel like we've talked about the path of least resistance sometimes, or if you feel like sometimes all it takes is just, it's not a lot of force. Sometimes if it just takes a tad bit of force to push yourself through that, being that uncomfortable, there's good things on the other side of it. So, and then you start to get addicted to those feelings, because you are getting positive results. So yeah, now just need to throw the meal prepping and the sleep into it.
But the growth part of that push, for me, it's more mental than it even is physical.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I like feeling like I've conquered a thought in a sense, taken it and been this thought was telling me I should stop, and I just did not.
Yeah.
I actually saw a TikTok of a girl that was she was so sweet and funny and determined, and I felt so many things watching this TikTok. I know we joke about what side of TikTok I live on, but anyways, she was probably I would guess 21, maybe 20.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe 19. I don't know.
Okay. She was in the 20 plus, maybe 19 plus.
Yeah. Early 20s, I would say. And she's crying on the video, and she's like, I'm so tired of being weak and weak-minded and a crybaby and all this stuff. And she's having this awakening of how she wants to be mentally tough, and she wants to have this discipline. And she's like, I'm done with this. And she goes, I'm going outside and running 8 miles. She found this Marine Corps discipline program, and she's like, I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. And it's I want to say 8 weeks of something, doing one thing a day that you think you can't do or something like that. And I don't know if it gives you those things to do or whatever, but the first day was she has to go run 8 miles. And she was headed out the door to do it with tears, I'm just done with this. I'm doing it. And I have to find it. You put your face.
That is, no, it's hilarious. That's hilarious.
She's like, it's time to get my life back in my hands, kind of thing.
Good for her. That's awesome. I love people like that. People that are just doers, go-getters, want the best for themselves, gonna go read the book. I feel like you're like that. People that are just gonna just chase with you, I feel are some of the best people to be around. It can be very stressful at times, for sure, because they can have that the world is ending perspective. But when you're able to work through it, I feel like that just becomes less and less and less. Like, but I feel like I'm a psychopath sometimes in how, like, if I experience pain, I like will like I internally talk to myself and go, well, just embrace that pain, embrace it. Like you once you feel it, it's not going to feel that drastic ever again.
Yeah.
Like, just keep pushing for whatever the case may be. I don't know if that's 100% healthy.
No,
all the time.
I feel like it is because well, you're talking about physical pain and like a workout.
Yes, exactly. 50-50. I'm talking about the mental aspect to all of that and going and doing those things. Yeah.
No, I think it's healthy. Am I a certified like psychologist? No, but I feel like for me, I do the same thing, but in a little bit of a different way. I picture if it's physical and it's a workout or something, I picture where the pain's coming from, and I literally take deep breaths and I try to envision that breath going straight to that place and relaxing it, because I realize it's just a matter of like my body tensing up or my body like trying to fight this growth or whatever it may be, and that's I can breathe into that and I can soothe myself. So I think about that. And then when it comes to like emotional pain or things like that, like it's the same thing, but I try to think, where is the root at? And then I pray over that root and I try to breathe into that root. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it's just so crazy how people's brains work and like how people cope with things, deal with stress, pain. Find that so fascinating, so interesting, because everyone handles it so differently. But good for that girl. I know. I want to know how it went. That's a TikTok I'm willing to invest in.
I'll have to go find it. I probably saved it, but it was so inspiring.
So I'm shocked you didn't send it to me.
At TikTok, I never send TikToks via the app. I only send them like outside of the app. It's weird, but it's honestly just so much work. So a lot of times I'll just save them. And remember in Turkey, I would save them and then I'd make you sit down and just go through all my saves like once a week.
I think TikTok is definitely one of those places where people will send me TikToks on and off. You will in iMessage, but they do make it difficult for it to set it out. But the reason I'm sure the reason they do that is so that people are actually on the app, because I'm sure once they exit it, their attention span is just shot. So
but talking about this just mental toughness conversation, last night I went to an art class at Soho House with my friend Kendall Brower, who we actually met through music. We are co-writers together, and so we've written a lot of honestly great songs. We've written some freaking great songs together.
You have, that nobody's heard.
That no one's heard yet. They will though. And she's just been somebody that has believed in me so much for probably 2 years now. She told her manager that she would like to write with me, and then he reached out to Matt. And just off the rip, like as an independent artist, that is like the biggest compliment ever, right? And we're the same age. She's just cool, and she her manager and I go way back, like, and so it was just a cool connection, and I was so happy to reconnect with them. And anyways, so Kendall and I through writing, created this friendship, and I just adore her. And we had gone to a painting class before, and then she saw another one coming up when I was home, and she's like, we have to go. First off, so glad I did that. I love taking classes as an adult. Like, it's the best.
You are a big class taker.
I'm a big class taker. But anyways, we were talking last night about this exact thing, about how positive thoughts can literally change your life. And she is one of the most positive people, and she'll always like disclaim and say, I'm not trying to be toxically positive. And I said, Kendall, I'm like, I don't think there's such thing, because your positivity is authentic. Like, it's not forced. It is who she is. Like, she
just lives like that.
She just lives like that. Yeah. Like, oh, the RV is pulling off. Our neighbor's headed to Bonnaroo.
See ya. Have fun in Bonnaroo, big dog.
Have fun. Be safe. Anyways, so we were just talking about that. And I told her, I said, I've struggled with a lot of things. I've struggled with, honestly, just like my self-talk, my anger, my immaturity, all these things that for real, like marriage has refined me on. And the biggest change that I've made is my thought patterns.
Yeah.
And for me, like the way that I was able to do that is taking scripture as truth and matching those up to my thoughts and going, okay, wait, nope, this thought is a lie, this thought is true, this thought's a lie, this thought's true. God doesn't speak like that. God does speak like this, or whatever it may be. And that has quite literally changed my life. It's changed our relationship.
Yeah, no, 100% has changed our relationship. I mean, it's I guess, yeah, I love that you have framed it like that, because it is just, I mean, what you're saying is it's pretty much just a mindset.
Yeah.
And I think that we have gotten so much better at meeting each other where we're at and having a like opportunity to like do that with you has been special.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that before I was just thinking, oh, it's just supposed to happen. We'll, figure it out. Like all these things just kind of like dissipate. And it's like, no, they don't dissipate unless you kind of, and it makes sense, pour back into those things. And that sounds easy, but that
explain what you're saying. Like, what do you mean? Like our issues?
I'm just saying like if you have, like in marriage, you have crossed wires, you have things that may become issues. Just every single day, it seems like if there's an opportunity to connect with that person and
even through conflict,
then you should take that route. Then, the other way, which is this person isn't understanding where I'm coming from. This person isn't meeting me where I'm at. And I guess that the conversation we had about the 20%, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm at.
That's another TikTok.
Really, and how many times have I said that to you? Probably in the past 2 weeks, where I've been like, I'm literally on 30%. Or and I don't. You maybe can remember.
I'll explain it. Yeah.
Or I'm on 30%, and I feel like that's giving you a little bit look into how I'm feeling that day. But then it's also been like, okay, I didn't have to over explain. I don't like over explaining. I just like being like, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
We can talk about it in a second.
Yes. I feel like it's been really cool to see how we've grown from the way that we were raised and how we communicated in our households to how we're communicating with one another. Because in a lot of ways we grew up very, very similar, but as far as communication, our houses couldn't have been different. Yeah. More different. And I feel like you definitely would avoid conflict with me, or if we had any sort of conflict, even if it was healthy conflict, you saw it as negative, like, cause you're just kind of like, just sweep it under the rug kind of thing, like just move on with the day. And I'm like, it never
would seem like a big deal, a big enough deal to me.
But it would still bother you internally. You just thought it would go away. You just felt like it shouldn't be discussed out loud. Whereas for me, if anything even slightly bothers me internally, in the past, I wouldn't want to bring it up. Now I'm like, I pick and choose, my battles. Yeah. But that's the balance that I've had to find. And then also how I address you with issues. Like, it's like, I try now to find the most like just calm and I don't know what's the word, but just clear cut path.
Just the
clearest way to discuss
the clearest
things.
way. I was going to say the quickest way, but the clearest way of just communicating
and not getting too deep and down into my emotions, which I'm so thankful for, because that's been something I've had to really work on as well, that like I'm in control of my emotions. They're not in control of me. And I think especially even as a songwriter, being emotional was almost praised, and you lean into it all and you want to write about it, all this stuff, but it was making me miserable. Like I lived so many years of my adult years just feeling like I was under this weighted blanket of feelings. And now I'm like, oh wait, no, this, and this is who I am. And these feelings over here are things that I feel occasionally depending on the day, but this is who I am. I'm not these feelings, and I don't know. I just think that our way of communicating and the way that we've had to bend in order to like have successful communication has made both of us better and has helped both of us kick some like bad habits. Yeah,
no, I completely agree with you.
positive talk.
A lot of positive talk.
Sleep and eating,
and water.
That's what your trainer said yesterday. He was like, it's really simple.
Literally, he said to me, we were talking about some recovery things. We were talking about, what's this look like? What does this type of recovery look like? And we got on to the point of, he was just like, man, people just really try to overcomplicate it. And I mean, this guy's worked with some really big athletes and some, people of all different, what am I trying to say here? Levels. That's what it's early, man. Levels. And so when he was just like, eat and sleep.
Yep.
Make sure you get protein. Like I was like that. I'm like, it is that simple. And he's like, yeah, it is. He's like, everyone will try to tell you you need to do 20 different things. You need to change. And it's just like, it is just that 1% change of, all right, if you can change this 1%, then everything else becomes more exponential. So.
Oh, are you okay? What just happened?
No, I'm just like, I don't know.
So
no, I did exponential. Twitch, glitch.
It's so cool. It makes me think about Atomic Habits, and when he talks about the bike team or riding team, what are they called? Cycle team.
The cycling team?
The cycling team, I think it was in the UK, and how they got this new coach. This team hadn't won in like a freaking 100 years, and they were, this sounds mean, but they were so bad that like the brands in their country or whatever didn't even want them using their bikes because they didn't want their bikes to be made to look bad. And so it was
been in that position.
It was that bad off. And then what'd you say?
I said been in that position. Sure.
But what's so cool about the story is they got a new coach that was like, I'm gonna make us 1% better in every single area. So it was like, okay, we're gonna get an hour more of sleep, or we're gonna like stretch for 10 minutes longer, or we're gonna whatever. In every single area, it was the slightest, like literal 1% difference that he made. This team went on to win like 7 consecutive, that might be wrong, but it was a lot.
What team was, or what country was it, do you know?
Is the book down here?
Say we both read the book, but I don't know what.
I'd have to look it up, but
okay.
I'm pretty sure it was a UK team.
Okay, actually, you are correct. It was a UK.
Yeah, anyways, but they went on to win like
British. I think it was a British cycling team.
Yeah, they went on to win like a bunch of consecutive world titles and Olympic titles, and all because he made them 1% better in each area. And it just goes to show you.
British British cycling team. The coach improved every tiny thing by 1%. That's James Clear. And then the Guardian wrote an article that said golden aura around marginal gains is beginning to look a little tarnished. Oh, I guess they're talking trash on them. But everything else, how 1% performance improvements led to Olympic gold. Goodness. So they won the Olympic gold. It's
so cool. It's so cool. And he didn't just go straight to like, hey, jump on the bike, I'm going to make you faster. It was like, hey, I heard that this one treatment can help someone's mind. And he would go and do like a temple massage. I don't know, I'm making that up. But like, it was like things like that, really unconventional routes of how can we make these other areas that are going unnoticed better? Yeah. So cool.
That has been my train of thought for probably the past 3.5 years. Yeah. Like I would say like now it's harder said than done, just in the sense of applying the 1% and having it become an atomic habit. And that's that thing right there. The very first slide, it says the 10-minute walk. Like you should try to make that an atomic habit, because that's the most important, because when you take that 10 minutes in, it obviously, the science behind it on improving your day. Anyways. And
the sunlight and stuff.
Yeah. Is essential.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just saying that, I think that is whatever I was just saying is the most important.
The 10-minute walk.
Or not the 10-minute walk, the 1%.
Oh yeah,
of trying to apply that 1%. It could be a massage, it could be the chiropractor, it could be a trainer. And I will never forget my college basketball coach telling me, he was like, Jackie, if you want to be great, He's like, you do not have to spend 3 hours in the gym. He's like, I do not want you in the gym for 2 hours. I want you in the gym an hour and a half. I said, how much time you want me in the gym, coach? He said, I want you in the gym for 20 to 30 minutes. He's like, you can do that between class. I said, 20, 30 minutes, coach. He said, go in the gym and be as efficient as possible. He's like, ball handling this. And when we drew up something, and I was like, yeah, that only takes me about 20, 25 minutes. Most of this time I'm spending walking over across to the gym, get there to change. And it dramatically changed my life. Like that year was a year that pretty much everything changed. So it was just establishing that thing and making it not such a daunting task of being like, I have to go in and get up 1,000 shots in one day and all these crazy things. It's like, no, if I go in and I am efficient at taking just 100 shots each day, those 100 efficient shots are going to be better than my 1,000 shots where I'm just all over the place. You know, and I just feel like people just like nowadays just overcomplicate things just entirely way too much, like from the coaches to the players to the management. You know?
No, you're so right. I mean, we were talking about that yesterday, that like typically the right answer is the simplest answer. You know, and I love that in the like only 20 minutes thing or whatever, because that's so much about, or that's so much like what Atomic Habits is about. Like is stop trying to set these massive goals for your life. Take what's one thing that can get you to that goal that we can implement this week or this month, you know? And I just love that. And I feel like we've been in a season of that.
100%.
Because we were even talking about this a couple weeks ago. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was the sleep or something, like saying no to things and getting in routines. And for me, it was like serving you like like cooking for you and things. And I said to you, I go, if I can't do this now, how am I going to do this when I have 5 kids? And I want my marriage to still remain number one. Like I want serving my husband to be embedded in me. Like that is because now when I don't make you breakfast, or like I don't check on you, or I don't serve you in some way through the day, I'm like, I miss it. I want to. I'm like, I want to take care of you, and you do it in so many ways for me as well. That's just partnership. But I want to be a good partner. I want to be a good wife. Like these things don't just happen. It's one little thing. It's picking up your clothes off the floor and not making a comment about it. And then it's like, oh no, like now I do those things and I don't even think twice about it. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's just good for the team. If it's good for my husband, it's great for me. Like
it's great for the team. Like I even thought that yesterday. Like I was just down here like picking up, and I just could not have been more happy. You know what I'm saying? I could not have been more happy. I'm like, when she gets home, gonna be cleaned up. We're gonna be able to come down here, do the podcast in the morning. Everything's gonna be, you know, picked up and vacuumed and cleaned, and it really did make me so happy, because I said it's for the betterment of the group at the end of the day.
And that's how we want our kids to be. And it's like, if we can't do that with each other, how are we going to be telling our kids, hey, clean up your room and don't complain about it? Like we, especially as Christians, as disciples, like we're literally called to be servants of the kingdom. If we can't serve the people we love the most, how are we going to serve strangers?
What was I going to say? Poor behavior comes from poor leadership.
Oh, that's good.
You know, like if you have a poor leader, if you have a bad leader, you will not be successful because you're going to be doing everything the wrong way. But if you have a great leader, if you have somebody who has very good, or that is very good leader, then you're going to be more times than not, you're going to be successful. You have to be willing to buy in. The group has to be willing to buy in. And I feel like that's what we've really started to do with each other. And the leader being God.
For sure. Choosing the right leader. You're not the leader. I'm not the leader. He's the leader.
Exactly.
And that has honestly, like it, again, The simplest answer is typically the best answer.
And that's as simple as it gets.
It's as simple as it gets. Hey, listen to your creator. He made you. He knows what you need. He knows what's going to serve you. He knows what's going to serve your marriage. It's that simple. We overcomplicate it. A testimony I heard, this entire topic came up in the sense of like, if you can't explain the gospel to a 5-year-old, then you are overcomplicating it. And it's so true. And like, even with my girlfriends and stuff, we'll talk about prayer and stuff. And I always encourage that, like with my friends that are struggling with prayer, I don't even know what to say or where to start or whatever. And I'm like, just say exactly what you just said to me. Because I get the same way. Like I'll start feeling like I need to like show up to a prayer with this, like, this is where I've been, God, I'm so sorry. And it's like, he knows. Hey God, I'm back now, and I'm freaking struggling, or whatever it may be. Like it is simple.
I was gonna say to me it's the manufactured version of what we believe a Christian is. Like, you're supposed to have all the words. You're supposed to know everything to say. You're supposed to know all of the scripture. You're supposed to know every book of the Bible. You're supposed to live exactly this way, the way that which
is a religious spirit, which like that is not the kingdom mindset.
And so I just say all that to say is that I think that's where it does get overcomplicated, because people believe that
there's a list of requirements.
Or if I'm not praying how this person in front of me is praying, then it is wrong.
Right.
And it's like, it's taken me a long time to realize that I can pray the way that God made me, if that makes sense, because
you should pray the way just who you are. Who you are.
How I communicate is how he's spoken through me.
Exactly.
So it's like, if I come back to him and I'm going back up to him and I'm like talking a completely different way, he's gonna be like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
use the gifts I gave you.
Be yourself. Be who I made you.
I did not make a mistake.
Be comfortable with who you are. Be comfortable with the pitch of your voice, the thoughts that run through your mind, the visions I give you, all of these things. Just trust that has come from me. If it's of good intent and good spirit and, all of those things, then you should have no issue or problem moving forward with it. So at this thing, it's like, just talk how you would talk to your friend. Because it is your friend. That's your father. At the end of the day. And I think that's where I've always kind of grew up in the church, but I think I missed the boat because of not necessarily, maybe a little bit how I was receiving it, but then my own thoughts and interpretations on that if I don't do it your way, then he's not going to respect me, or he's not going to want to communicate with me. And okay, well then why even take that to him? Why even address those things with them?
And it's so heartbreaking, because I feel like a lot of us start to feel that way. And it's so far from who he is. Like, he's not sitting there judging us. He's not doing, like, absolutely not. Like, he has all the grace and love in the world for us. Does that mean that, like, we should, like, take advantage of? No. But it's a matter of, like, he doesn't want us sitting there. I always say this. He doesn't want us sitting there in shame over something we've done or over whatever, and being afraid to go to him. That breaks his heart. Like, go to him for 10 minutes, and I promise you, he will drench your heart in whatever it is you're needing, versus spending 3 weeks in shame over what you've done. Like, it's not worth it, or 30 years or whatever. And it's just like,
I had to apologize to him yesterday, because I said, I'm sorry for spending more time watching Housewives than I prayed to you. I said, I apologize.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I was like, my bad.
No, but it's funny you say that, because I was going to say that about this podcast. Like, I've had so many thoughts from the enemy where it's like, oh, that's what you're going to do with your time. That's what you're going to do with your platform. Like, this isn't serving God. That's what you're talking about. And I think it's so important to be able to discern these lies with conviction, And so then I take those things and I take them to God and I go, like you just said, like something like that. Like I don't know. Is this hurting, you know, whatever, is this hurting me to be doing this? Is this what, and we're imperfect. We're figuring it out. We're human. Like, it's a part of the journey. If it comes to the point where God's like, we feel clearly in our spirit, this path is not meant for us. We went down a path that he didn't want for us or have for us. Okay, we set it down. Yeah. But it's not this game of like, I don't know, like, oh, if we do a podcast, we've made the wrong decision in life and we've missed our calling. It's like, that's not the case. And I don't know. It's just, I don't even know what I was getting at. Oh, because I feel that way sometimes where I struggle with the thoughts of like, if I'm a Christian, should I be watching Real Housewives and stuff? And that is a religious spirit. That is a religious spirit, because I'm telling you, there's a difference between thoughts like that are learned from our culture and learned from our world. And then that's a difference between that and conviction. You know when the Lord is convicting you on something. I've been convicted very specifically on things recently that I'm not partaking in anymore. And it's because I know that it is the Lord speaking to me on that thing. But it's you have to be able to discern what's what. And I don't want to stop watching Real Housewives or things like that because the world tells me that's not a Christian thing to do. Yeah. Then I'm not doing it for God. I'm doing it for other people's perception.
Correct.
Sorry.
I love that.
This, you know.
Speak on it. I love it. No, speak on it.
I feel like that was like all over the place.
No, not at all.
And not concise at all, but.
And that's of the enemy.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, speak positivity.
And that's the last thing I'll say.
Okay.
Is even with this podcast, I'm just going to talk through these thoughts that I've had because I think it's relevant to this conversation. Is like, just now thinking about this, we're not big to mess up what Holy Spirit wants to tell someone, whether it be through this podcast, whether it be through a conversation with friends, whether it be through an Instagram story, through saying hello to someone on the street. I can't mess that up. If Holy Spirit wants to deliver a message, he's going to deliver a message. I always think about this stuff and like just how, I think it was Moses, right? Moses, yeah. That had the stutter.
That's a great question.
I think it was Moses that had the stutter. See, look, imperfect. Don't have all the right answers for you. But he's like, God, you really want me to tell this entire group of people this huge prophetic message? Like, I have a stutter. Like, you've chosen the wrong person. Pick someone else. I'm not going to say this right. And he's like, I will give you the words and the way to say it. Like, stop. Like, I've got it. I'm your creator. I'm God. Like, I have all the resources in the world. I have all the power in the world. Like, if I've called you to do something, I'm not worried about your stutter. Yeah. I gave you that stutter. Yep. And I have to remind myself of that, especially with this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I already talk too much in life. And then I've now picked up a mic. I don't want to say something wrong. I don't want to turn someone away from the Lord. Like, that's the complete opposite of what I want to do. But I have to remind myself, I am only in control of being obedient to God. That is it. Holy Spirit can do whatever else he wants to do with me and in this platform and whatever else. If I'm ignoring like commands from the Lord, that's what I need to be worried about.
Yep. 100%.
Anyways.
I love that. Great job.
Well, great job to you. Let me know what he says about the housewives.
Will do.
I love you so much.
I love you too, baby. It was good today. And then we were having a conversation before us just because we were, you know, I what did I say before we started today? Do you remember when you were sitting over there? But when we were saying, you know, what we wanted to discuss and what was going on, and you felt like, remember you just said you felt like we didn't have anything to
You're talking about the scooter
speak about today. No, I'm just saying the things that you were saying that we didn't speak about today. And I just think it's funny that
that's so
how we
true.
We sat down to have a conversation. Me and Lacey were going back and forth, having a conversation, and she was just like, well, have you seen anything in the news today? We'll have like a quick morning meeting to debrief what we're going to speak about, the magic of producing a podcast, right? So I just told her, I said, hey, we have a couple things, maybe we'll get to them, but I said, I truly believe that if we just have a discussion, and that discussion has now then turned into about him, and so I believe he's just spoken into it. When we were just like, we were literally sitting here.
What do we talk about?
We were literally sitting here 40 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know? So.
It's so cool.
Yeah. It is just cool. It is just cool because I'm sitting here and just being like, wow, we've just literally, he just came in the room and we just picked up the conversation, and I think that's what he wanted. So.
Yeah. And you can feel it. Like, when I feel that inspired and passionate, it's like he conjured that up. Yep.
Exactly. So that's awesome. There was a reason why we weren't supposed to. There's no housewives on or nothing on, you know.
We do have to watch the Kardashians today.
I did just see Courtney, like a little snippet of her talking about how she is claiming that Kim, pivot real quick for you, that Courtney was saying that Kim had been plotting the D&G thing since her wedding. So as soon as she saw that she was doing it in Italy and all this stuff, she said and it's just like, it's fashion. It's not that. It's not that deep at all. And it's like, I think, did we already talk about? I know we're running.
It's so funny, here, like when we had this whole conversation about this, like Holy Spirit and God and just all of it. Immediately, like you even just bringing that up, the Kardashians and the whole fashion thing, whatever, my mind immediately shifts to kingdom. Like I'm back in that perspective where it's like, like who cares? Yeah. Who cares? This has nothing to do with eternal life. Yeah. And it's I struggle with that, like just being a human and just enjoying my time on earth while keeping the eternal perspective, because a lot of times I'm really extreme into it, where I'm like the Ecclesiastes verses where it's like meaningless, everything's meaningless. Like sometimes I'll get in that mindset for months at a time where I'm like, none of this matters. Like this doesn't have eternal value or whatever it is. Yeah. And I have to find a balance of that, because he did put us on this earth for a reason. Like we are supposed to just be human in a sense, while also keeping that eternal perspective. Correct. But when you were talking about them, all I could hear in the back of my mind was meaningless. It's all meaningless.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But I do love them.
Yes.
I do. I feel like they have
a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people have their own thoughts about the Kardashians, which again is fine. You are allowed to have you're allowed to be a free thinker and have your own thoughts. There's no denying, and I think we've already talked about this on the podcast, that Kris Jenner, how she's managed to develop these billion-dollar, multi-million-dollar brands, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. Like if you want to congratulate Scooter Braun, all of these CEOs, managers, all of these people, you have to put her up there in the top 5 of all time. Yeah. You know, because I mean, up there with Michael Jackson's dad.
Now my brain, I can't. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, but it all just seems so trivial.
Yeah, it can't stop thinking about like, okay, a mind like that can do that. Like how she could serve the kingdom of God. For sure. I mean, see, this is my struggle with being someone that, like, I love the entertainment industry. I'm someone that's been in it for a decade.
I mean, we have a podcast, but also like, oh my gosh, but then last night that sermon you were watching, or no, it was a testimony. Yeah. And the girl was like, I don't care if when I leave here, y'all never remember my name, as long as you remember who Jesus is and what he's done for you. Something, that's why I immediately got my journal out and started journaling. Yeah. Something struck me and I'm just like, oh my gosh,
I know that I've heard that 101 times, whatever, but it struck my spirit. And I'm like, no, really, I have to genuinely believe that in my heart, that I don't care if anyone ever remembers my name ever.
Yes.
And that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow, a hard truth to have especially when you're a creator. You want to create this music, you want people to like honor
your job is to have your name remembered. It almost works against you.
It's so contradictory.
Yeah,
and so it's so confusing, and it's like, but then God, why'd you give me the gift of gab? LOL. Why did you give me the gift of singing? Why did you give me the gift of acting? Why'd you give me these gifts? Like, how are they gonna work for your kingdom? And I know that they will. I know that he is going to reveal things over time to me in that sense. But that literally just struck me, and I'm like, no, I actually have to like die to that. Like, I don't know.
You gotta lay that down.
Yeah. And it's like, even though I believe that, or like I thought in my head that I'd already let that go, and that's what I've been doing the last 2 years. That's, for those of you that have wondered why I've stopped music, that's a huge reason. Like, and not stopped as in like I've stepped away, because these were things that I needed to have refined spiritually. And I have thought I've made so much growth in that area where I'm like, I don't care anymore. Like, I genuinely don't care about the perception of people that I've had to let go of so many parts of this. But I really thought like, no, I don't care if people know my name or not. And then I had to think to myself, if I put out a record that I was really proud of and people were like, I love the song, I don't know who the heck that chick is singing it. Yeah. Do I care? And honestly, it's like 60-40 that I don't care, but there's still 40% of me, probably, maybe 70-30. But there's still that 30-40% of me that's like, would that sting? Yeah. Would that stink? Like, that needs to be gone. Yeah. If I'm referring to if I was singing like worship music, which I hope to be doing one day, or faith-based music, I need to let Holy Spirit like guide me in writing this music and let it go into the world. If he has plans for it, he has plans for it. And I need to settle up with the fact that like it's not meant to be anywhere near about me. Yep. And it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. No, 100%. I feel that in so many ways.
I'm sorry. I was
No, you're good. I'm enjoying listening to you. It's coming to you. So
it was a free therapy session.
I love that.
And it honestly felt really nice to share with you guys a little bit about that, because I feel like it's not an easy topic for me to just like jump into. There's so much. I'm literally going to cry. There's so much that's gone on. Yeah. With like, ew, why am I crying? Because I'm on my period. No, but there's so much that's gone into my music career that people don't know about, you know, and so many reasons why I've stepped away. And I'm like, it's hard for me to explain that just on a whim on like an Instagram story. And then I also don't feel like it's meant to be everyone's business. Yeah. And it's so this hard balance where I'm getting asked regularly, why aren't you putting out music? When are you going to put out music? And it's a big topic to explain. So this is honestly really nice that I get to at least share a little bit about it.
Everyone will understand someday at some point.
So the Broncos, huh?
Well, this is the Chicago Bears. Oh. Don't ever disrespect yourself like that. Ever in your life.
So the Bears,
I will give it to you that the jerseys do look somewhat similar, but again, they do not look similar. And this is do you see the GS? You see all of that right here, right?
I wish we would have known Eric and Jesse back when he played for the Broncos. That would have been fun to watch him play for them.
For sure, that would have been so much fun. But yeah, you know, big Chicago Bears. Khalil Mack doesn't play for him anymore. But
I've worn that before, and I did not know it was a Bears jersey. Anyway, didn't expect to cry this morning, but
hey, it happens. I love you. Positive talk only. Yep. Shout out Kendall Brower. Do you want to sign us off?
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. We shouldn't have a podcast. Thank you guys for listening.
Yes. Sorry. Like, subscribe, comment.
My name's Lacey Cavalier Carmichael.
I'm Jackie Carmichael.
And actually, I'm like officially getting my name changed. Oh, I was going to go do that today.
Okay.
I think I'm going to do that when we finish.
All right.
We love you guys. And we just thank y'all for just giving us this space and just being so kind and receiving of us on our good days and our bad days, because doing this every day, we have good days and bad days.
Yes. Do you want to talk about the company that you're using for the name change stuff? Or?
Nope, I don't.
All right. Perfect.
All right. Yeah, we will talk to you guys tomorrow. We hope you have an amazing Thursday.
Yes, have an amazing Thursday.
No, have a more amazing Thursday.
Have a great Thursday.
All right, we love y'all.
All right, love you guys. Yep, bye.